Mode.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm Vice President of Marketing at Survey Analytics, Dana Stanley, and your presenter today will be John Johnson. Before I introduce John, I'm going to take you through a few logistics surrounding the webinar. You'll all be in listen-only mode, and you can submit questions through the question box on the GoToWebinar control panel. At the end, we'll have time for reviewing those questions, and John will answer all the questions that you submit. So, with that said, let me give you a preview of the agenda for today. We're going to talk a little bit, just very briefly for context, about Survey Analytics, which is the company that brings you SurveySwipe. John will talk to you about SurveySwipe as an overview, talk a little bit about the context of mobile research. Then he's going to get down into the nitty-gritty, talking about the panel member mobile diary, the LifeMetrix capability, which is the passive mobile data collection, location-based research, image previews, and a really cool question type called a stopwatch question. Then we'll go to Q&A. So Survey Analytics was founded in 2002, and the company is a software provider that specializes in online research, mobile surveys and panel, conjoint analysis, crowdsourcing, sample, gamification, and more. And some of our brands, in addition to SurveySwipe, you may have heard of. Survey Analytics is the core enterprise research platform, a do-it-yourself survey platform. SurveyPocket is the tablet app for doing mobile field studies. LifeMetrix is the passive data collection app. And Second Prism is a data visualization app for touch screens. So now I'm going to introduce John. In addition to being an all-around great guy, John is a mobile research director and an account executive at Survey Analytics, and he's based in our Seattle office. He's the product lead for SurveySwipe. And prior to Survey Analytics, John worked at Gilmore Research Group. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, John.
Thank you for that introduction, Dana, and thank you for that brief overview. And thank you for everyone who has joined us today, those who are joining us this morning and those who are joining us in the afternoon or early evening. Look forward to talking to you about SurveySwipe. Just a little bit more about me. I did join the Survey Analytics team 3 years ago, but as Dana stated previously, I started in traditional market research, qualitative and quantitative, working for several different research firms in the Seattle area. I've done everything from project management to field management to even being a recruiter myself for focus groups, field surveys, on the phones, getting people to take surveys, as well as even hosting in-person focus groups. So I've done a lot in the research industry, but coming to a software company who specializes in research software and technology has been a great enhancement into my, I think it's about 10, 12 years in the industry thus far. So it's been a great time. But enough about me. We're going to talk about SurveySwipe. SurveySwipe is a community-based mobile research platform that allows your opinions to be heard through a smartphone. Okay? Respondents will receive surveys from the communities that they have joined and rewards for their opinions. Now, the great things about the rewards here, I want to pause there for a second, is that it's completely integrated in our system, which makes it easy for the panel admin to add rewards and fulfill rewards automatically, as well as the respondent can simply redeem their rewards once they have the correct amount of points allocated. So we have a points and reward system built in. SurveySwipe supports mobile communities worldwide. So it's great. The Survey Analytics platform as a whole supports multiple languages, and so does the mobile application. So we can distribute surveys across multiple languages, but as well as platforms. We support Android, iOS, BlackBerry, and Windows. So why mobile? Okay, well, why mobile research specifically? These illustrations here, as you can see, 80% of the world's population has a mobile phone. Number of smartphones in the US is 91.4 million. Mobile phones in the world is 5 billion, and out of that, which 1.8 billion are smartphones. So, as we all know, people are getting rid of their landlines, but as well, they're starting to move away from their laptop and desktop computers. In the second illustration, then we can see, well, what are they doing on the smartphones? 92% in 2011 was using text messaging. 84% internet browsing, 76% emails. And we can see the percentages for games played, apps downloaded, social networking, and music videos. But what I really want to focus on is the internet browsing and emails, okay? Those who are used to traditional online surveys or online communities, you would send out an email and they would go to their laptop or to their desktop. Well, you know what? Now they're whipping out their phone and they're reviewing that email. And then they're clicking that link and going to their phone's browser in an attempt to take the survey, okay? And as we know, sometimes it's very difficult to take a survey just using a traditional web browser. And that is the great thing about having an application such as SurveySwipe. I love this quote here. 67% of all smartphone users sleep with their smartphones in bed, probably higher than the percentage that sleep with their spouses. Well, I gotta admit, earlier this week I slept with my smartphone, but I upped the ante and slept with my laptop as well. May not be a good thing for me and my wife, but it happens. This morning I found myself going through all the blankets in the bed trying to find my smartphone because I forgot to apply the death grip to my phone before I went to sleep. So I definitely have to say there's probably a lot of truth to this quote here. But let's talk about some of the features that the SurveySwipe mobile application brings. And one of them is diary. We call it panel member diary. And this is our take on ethnography field projects. We like to call it mobile ethnography. We get an inside point of view via participant observation without having to be nearby. And we achieve the same type of interactions and instructions to collect data in a real-life environment using SurveySwipe. Now, I remember when we used to do in-person studies or ethnographies, we would have to send some stranger to a person's house to spend some time in their home. And you know what? A lot of people are not open to that. A lot of people are shy. They don't like having strangers in their home, etc. But we find the respondents who do the mobile ethnographies are 100% open and are willing to share and are willing to input the time, just removing that unknown for them. So let's talk about diary via demonstration. Okay, we're going to use Bob Barker in our demonstration. And one thing I want to start with is when doing a diary project, just as any research project that you do, you want to set the expectations. You want to set the expectations for you internally in your research department, etc., but also for the respondents. So we want to make sure that we give that respondent instructions, what's going to be required of them, how frequently we would like them to fill out their diary. And a good thing about our diary tool, we can send daily push notification reminders. So we can also remind the respondents to fill in their diary entry. Maybe they need to do a morning entry or evening, afternoon, etc. We can use the push notification feature of using a mobile application natively downloaded to the smartphone device, and we can take advantage of things such as push notifications. As well as we can attach surveys to the diary entries. This means we can do follow-up surveys to get more in-depth data, or if we have additional questions that we really want to dig down into beyond their diary entries. So example, Bob Barker joined a fast food panel and agreed to do a food journal every day for 7 days. So Bob went to his phone, his smartphone device, opened up the SurveySwipe application, clicked the diary module, and begin placing entries. We can see day 1 for breakfast, Bob had some OJ and a slice of toast, and for lunch he had some KFC, and for dinner he had some delicious steak fajitas from Applebee's. Okay, and if he had a snack, he can simply go ahead and add that entry as well. Okay. Once Bob is done with his diary entries, he can go back to his surveys, and now we have a diary follow-up question. So which meal of the day was your largest? Did you eat with others or by yourself? Take a picture of what you are currently eating or upload a picture from your phone of what you have ate. So as you can see, it was very simple for Bob to get started with his diary and start journaling every day for 7 days, his progress in there. And as well, we're able, via pushing out surveys to him and giving him notifications, send him reminders, but also follow-up surveys to get more in-depth data. Another feature that we use that is a part of the mobile application SurveySwipe is LifeMetrix. And LifeMetrix is SurveySwipe's passive data collection tool. Now what this does, it allows for collection of information from respondents without asking survey questions. It allows an administrator a chance to better understand consumer behavior already being captured by the device. And respondents must give permission to collect this data, of course. So that part is covered. We will not collect this data unless they want to. But what this does is it helps us reduce the number of questions that we're going to place into our survey, but we still get rich data from the respondent because the device is collecting it for us, and we're saving the respondent time in taking the surveys. Some of the passive data collected points are, and not limited to, device type, operating system, battery life, number of apps, last apps opened, and geolocation. So let's see how we apply that in this scenario. So where was Bob when he made his diary entries on Monday? Well, Bob's device type was an iPhone. Operating system was iOS. His battery life was 37%. That's a good metric there. I wonder if users who have a shorter battery life, are they going to rush through their diary entries? Or does it not make a difference? And this is kind of data that we can analyze over time or through a project. Number of apps installed were 7. Last app opened was Yelp. And his geolocation was In-N-Out Burger in Pasadena, California. I wonder if you use that last open app, which is Yelp, to find that location. Now, if you can see in this illustration here on the right-hand side, we do not collect application metering, LifeMetrix, unless he enables it, simply selecting yes or no. Now, another feature we used in this project, as we deployed it out to our food fan community, is location-based research. So today, Bob wants to take his dog to Burger King for a special treat. Which location did he go to? What did he order? How much did he spend? Was he satisfied with his experience? Location-based surveys allows Bob and other customers to instantly share opinions why the experience is happening. Now, how the SurveySwipe mobile application does this is by using geo-triggered surveys. The administrator of the panel simply inputs the locations, and now we can trigger surveys based on that location. We also take that a step further by using geofencing technology, which allows for us to set, using that technology allows the ability for entry and exit surveys. And it kind of looks like this. Bob enters Burger King. After a minute, he receives a push notification survey from a fast food panel. Bob takes a quick survey about service and cleanliness. Because we're using the geofencing technology, as soon as he leaves the location, the application is aware and he has sent the follow-up exit survey. Per his survey, Bob takes a picture of a meal he shared with his dog. And the survey admin can now analyze the data from the Reports tab. So what Bob did here is he got a notification on his smartphone that he had an entry survey at Burger King. We asked, how satisfied are you with the cleanliness of Burger King? How much do you plan to spend or have you spent on your meal at Burger King? And consider your complete experience. How likely would you be to recommend Burger King to others? And as well, as upon his exit, Bob received an exit survey. Overall, what do you think about the quality of your meal from Burger King? If there was one thing Burger King could do to improve their experience with them, what would it be? And he can type in his response. He'd probably give that response because he wants to watch reruns of himself while eating his meal. Okay. Please select which Burger King logo is your favorite. And lastly, we asked him to take a picture of where he was eating his meal. So great. Oops. So using the location base, we were able to do an entry and an exit survey to Bob. And as you can see, it was easy for him to navigate through and provide his data for us. One of the last things I want to point out, our last couple of things, are some enhancements to our mobile application. And one is image previews. Swipe makes it easier for respondents to view the images at a push of a button. So here, which Burger King logo do you like better? Not only can they see the logos here, but we can take advantage of the screen space and give them an image preview by simply clicking on the image. And lastly, another enhancement of the SurveySwipe application is the stopwatch question type. How long did it take Bob to get his meal from Burger King? Now, instead of asking him later and depending totally on Bob's recall, we can have him turn on the stopwatch and record it in real time. And here we can take a look at the stopwatch question type. You see, we can start, we can stop, and we can reset as well if needed. And then submit our data. So through this project that we ran here with the fast food fan and Barbacher, we were able to take advantage of the diary feature and create a food journal. We were also able to push out additional surveys to get additional data into that journal. We were also able to passively collect an extreme amount of data to analyze along with our results that we were already receiving from Bob. In addition to that, we were able to set up geo-triggered surveys using location-based surveys, as well as set the parameters for that and allow for an entry and exit survey. And Bob got to take advantage of some of our question type enhancements, such as the image preview and the stopwatch question type, all yielding to a great user experience and a great UI overall, other than using a traditional web browser. And the application, as you can see, allows us for some advantages such as the geolocation, the push notifications, and as well as the LifeMetrix passive data collection. Now you may be asking yourself at this point, that's all great and it's cool that we're able to run that study and do all that, but how hard is it to set up? And I'm going to be honest with you, it's really easy. Using the Survey Analytics Enterprise platform, it's all completely integrated. We create our survey. We edit our survey by putting in our question types and our logic. Then we're ready to deploy our survey. Now, of course, we're going to need to first set up our panel community. Okay. Once we've set up our panel community, we can start asking respondents to join. We may already have a database, so we can pre-register them, or we can start advertising and promoting this online in mail-outs or via other online surveys that we're already conducting. And the user can simply go in and sign up and join the community, and then download the application such as Bob did, select the SurveySwipe application on their mobile device, and begin participating in the research project. Now, once Bob is giving us his data, on the Survey Analytics tool in real time, we can click over to reporting and start to analyze and review those results of those who are participating in the research. Okay. In addition, as I mentioned, we do get some LifeMetrix passive data collection and as well as those diary entries, in which we can go in and view the entire community or download an overall report. And we can go in inside of the portal for the admin and look at each individual user and as well as download their individual LifeMetrix data and diary entries. So it's fairly simple to get started in setting up your project deploying your project, and then reviewing your data and making some decisions. Well, I want to thank everybody who's taken that time, and I know I've thrown a lot out of there this morning, this afternoon, or early evening for some of you. But now I'm going to turn it over to Dana to let us know if we have any questions out in the audience today.
Thanks, John. Yeah, we do actually. We have some great questions. And for people who haven't submitted questions or who have more, this would be a good time to submit that through the question interface on the GoToWebinar control panel. We did focus on some aspects of SurveySwipe, but it's definitely a complex tool with lots of features, so fire away with the questions. So John, the first question is, are participants able to upload images within a diary entry as well as, or only a follow-up survey?
That is a great question, and thank you for asking that. Participants are definitely able to upload audio, video, and pictures in the survey format. In our next release of SurveySwipe, we will be releasing the Diary 2.0. And Diary 2.0 will be allowing for direct uploads inside the Diary module of photos, audio, and video.
Okay, next question. For the ethnography, is there a moderator involved? How do you review the data frequently enough to know when to push out follow-up questions, or do these need to be determined ahead of time?
Yeah, and that's a good question. I like that. And I think I kind of touched on it a little bit. Anytime in setting up any type of survey or running any type of survey, you want to do your due diligence and really set out the parameters. And not only, you know, as I said, outlining it to the respondent who's going to be participating, but internally as far as the research project on how you want it to run. So setting those parameters up front on how frequently you're going to engage with that data, how frequently you're going to do those reminders. That definitely either may come from, depending on how you're structured, from a project management standpoint, or if you have an administrator of your panel community, maybe your panel admin is doing some of that work as well.
Great. And the next question is a good one. Do we have to use your panel members, or can we give you a list, or just ask people at a location to participate right then and there?
Let me kind of split that one up, and that is a fantastic question. So, no, you definitely do not have to use our own internal mobile community members. The SurveySwipe mobile application is connected to the panel tool in Survey Analytics. This means you can create your own custom communities, your own custom databases of members who can participate in your mobile research. You can either upload these if you already have a database and get started with deploying out surveys mobily, or you definitely could start to advertise and get new users to join into the community. At any rate, if you already have certain clients that you're working with, or have locations which you would like users to come in and get geolocation surveys, all you need to do is simply do some marketing or advertising, or place a sign into your location to encourage those to download the app and join the community. And now they will be privy to take part in those surveys that you set up at those locations. So a lot of different ways to kind of structure a project. And whoever asked that question would love to spend some additional time with you talking about how it may work in your scenario.
Great. Next question. Is SurveySwipe able to handle advanced skip logic and piping like an online survey?
Survey, we can do compound delayed branching. Yes, the mobile application can. It can do branching. It can do piping. And yes, we do have skipping logic. So for the most part, it can do some pretty advanced things in terms of that, as it would do in an online survey. Of course, and having that type of logic helps shorten the survey given the environment. So yeah.
Okay. Does this work across all mobile platforms, Android, iOS, Windows Phone, tablets too?
Yes, it absolutely does work on these devices. If it's a tablet device, of course, the module itself has been built for the mobile phones, but it will work on the tablet devices. If you're using things like Kindle, though, keep in mind that those devices tend to not have video, audio, and photo capture ability, so those won't work for users using those.
Okay, next question. Does your company maintain and offer clients a large nationwide consumer panel? If so, what size is it?
We have various different consumer panels as well as custom specialty panels, and they do vary in different sizes. For specific questions on that, we would love to talk about it, and we can wrap in our panel management division, sample division, shall I say.
I like this question. Is this free, or what cost does it have?
Well, no, it's not free. I wish we could give everything in the world away for free, but there are costs involved in using the platform as well as the mobile application. It does specifically depend upon your need, your size of community, and the type of access you will need.
Yeah, and John, if I could jump in there too, the other thing, one thing that sometimes people are pleasantly surprised about when they talk to us about SurveySwipe is that we have flat pricing. So,
yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter how many projects you launch or how many respondents you reach out to, it's flat pricing.
Thank you, Dana.
Okay, next question. Could you speak to the setup of panel participant profiles and how/if survey data builds over time with the individual's profiles?
Yes, I can speak specifically to that. So with the panel profiles, we can create member fields, and they can access these strictly via their mobile device, or they can actually update these online as well. Now, you may start out a project and you may only have 5 or 6 member profile fields that you set up. And one thing to note, you can pre-populate this data if you already have it and begin segmentation of surveys that you send out and analyzing those results, or users can update that data as they come in. Now, you may decide that you have 5 more fields that are important to you later down the road, and you most definitely can add those, and we're unlimited in terms of those, and those do continue to build. That data can always be updated, and it just continues to grow with that member.
Great. Do you have information on the profile of people who are willing to participate in diaries, photo sharing, geo-tracking, etc., compared to people who do not want to share information or are unwilling to consent to geo-tracking?
You know, there's a lot of different data out there in the world, and a lot of different research firms and different providers have been running a lot of internal research. And we find that, I think what I've seen, I find increasingly it continues to grow. Many people are willing to do online surveys. I think we all agree to that. Many people are willing to do it, say they're willing to do it if it's on their mobile device. However, they just want the experience to be great. They want to be able to select the questions, see the questions, and so that's definitely where a mobile application comes into play and enhances that ability. I think this would, go ahead.
I was just going to build on what you were saying, which is that, you know, like all types of research, you know, mobile research and smartphone research is one arrow in a researcher's quiver. You know, and you have to just kind of give it the smell test or the common sense test. Is this something that realistically you're going to get, you know, people to respond to? That said, you know, the data is very rich, and for the right population, you know, it obviously makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Next question: can the moderator probe individual responses?
And I guess that would be, I'm thinking that question is coming from the standpoint of the diary in which we've shown. And that's where you would use a follow-up survey. So let's say you're reviewing the data of one of your participants, their diary data, and questions come across. And you definitely can you can turn those into questions that you push out only to that that individual respondent or community member.
Okay, next question. Does the application format to tablet devices?
Right. So the application has been built by for the smartphone, but as I said, it will run on the tablet devices. Most tablet devices will expand it to the, you can click to expand it to the screen. But for the best visualization is going to be on the smartphone device.
Okay. Can they join and take the survey at a FF store on the spot, or is there a delay?
Oh, no, they 100% can join at the store and take the survey immediately. We can place default surveys into the account, and once they join as well, they can go ahead and start receiving any location surveys that have been set at that location.
Okay, next question. Can you use the application in Spanish?
Yes, you can.
Okay. How are confidentiality and ownership of data and questionnaires assured?
That's a good question. And so we have, of course, on the Survey Analytics platform, we cover everything in terms of privacy and data. All our data, of course, is securely stored. In terms of the opting in and data on the mobile application, there is a terms of service agreement that once they download the application, the user um, must read and must accept, and then as well, they must opt in to the collection of the LifeMetrix data.
Yeah, and I would add, Survey Analytics across all its products has extensive confidentiality policies, and as well as data security, and we'd be happy to talk to anyone individually, about that in a lot more detail. Next question, can the app be branded in a sense, or anything done to show users that the app is from the company doing the research?
Yes, most definitely can create custom branded applications using the same technology. And again, there's different pricing on that, but it's flat pricing as well.
Great. Do you compensate panel members in cash to offset their expense in using part of their smartphone's data plan to join your research projects?
The answer to that is no. Currently, through the users who we have who've used it and the different companies using the technology, we really haven't found that to be a problem or come up with respondents.
But I suppose we could do that.
We can do many things, yes.
Okay. What countries can you do research in?
We can do, I mean, in terms of the mobile application, as I said, we're available in all markets on the different divisions. As long as they have a smartphone and they're able to download the application, you can begin deploying surveys out to those users. So in any country, and then as well as make it available to them in their particular language.
Okay, next question. Can you give a use case where LifeMetrix might be useful?
Right. I think the one with Bob Barker was great.
I guess I meant other than that.
other than Bob Barker, though, the one I really like, and it kind of attaches to having that smart phone in bed. A lot of people, whether it's a sleeping deprivation or mattress companies, sleeping habits is a great way. As we know, there's an accelerometer inside of these mobile devices, and using passive data collection points. If we run a study and you have a person have respondents sleep with their device, you can track how often that they have movement, how if they're up and down throughout the night. And then, of course, moving from that data being captured in the morning, we can again have those follow-up surveys to ask them how they felt their sleep was, how many times do they think they woke up. You can really put together a very interesting project like that using the passive data collection point there.
Do you have pricing for nonprofits?
Go ahead,
I
John.
would say, if I could, yeah, John, if I could jump in on this one too. Um, we can, the pricing, John talked generally about the approach to pricing, but the way to, get specific pricing, because each project is so different and each need is so different, is to contact us directly. On your screen now is John's contact information, his email, but also you can certainly feel free to send an email to our sales team at sales-team@surveyanalytics.com. So either way. But yes, we'll take it easy on nonprofits.
Yes.
Next question, can the individual turn tracking off for periods of time?
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely the individual can go in and disable the tracking under the settings feature.
Great. Looks like that's it for the questions, John. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me. I want to thank the audience again for having us and attending this session. Hopefully you guys found it of value, and I hope to have some individual conversations with some of you in the near future.
Thanks. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.